This is the first time I feel like we're not going to really get a gimmick from Nintendo. I think they're going to play this way safer than they've ever done.
Yeah.
Those are just my thoughts on it.
Agreed. I kind of get the feeling they're not interested in being the best graphics out there. I mean, it's working. They've got good games on a console that's very popular. So I don't know if they're going to mess with that.
Yeah, I think I think there's something, Zach, you were talking about being an old gamer. I'm in that boat. And something I noticed is that we were in a trajectory where we watched gaming improve over time. We saw hardware improve over time, and we couldn't wait. You know, we went from these really, really low polys to just like super sharp stuff. And it was amazing to see it, right? But you know, you look at Gen Z and even Gen Alpha now, and like they just want to play games. Like they don't really care as much because they weren't there for that like climb. Mm-hmm. So like you look at something like Fortnite, they don't care what it looks like. They just want to play Fortnite. You know, it's like, you know, they didn't see it when it looked really, really bad. So they don't care. Everything looks relatively good now, you know, so it's not as important. I think Nintendo understands that, especially about the audience that would buy a Switch.
Yeah. Like Kyle said here, Nintendo is usually focused on the gaming, not the graphics, and that's true. Now you say that, and that is true, but Mario Odyssey is an amazing looking game.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is an incredible looking game, and when you think about retro gaming, some of the best looking retro games, when you upscale them to modern monitors, are Nintendo first party games. Like most of the time, those graphics just age so well, and they continue to do that over and over again, generation after generation.
I think that screams something to be mentioned about art style versus graphics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think I see that a lot with modern games where, you know, sure it's super sharp and it's super shiny and there's like the RTX stuff, but you know, I don't get a good vibe of the game as a whole. Like that's why something like Breath of the Wild, where I mean, you could argue that it's cell shaded or whatever, but the universe looks good no matter how you look at it, right? If you stripped out the super high resolution of some of these modern games, they would be pretty crap. You know, it just wouldn't be great. It's just because I can see the raindrops on the concrete, that's awesome. But you know, if you take that away, then you just have, you know, nothing.
Right.
Man, I'll tell you, I do. I mean, I really want to experience some good ray tracing, you know, with reflections in games and that type of thing. I haven't been able to do that on the current laptop I have. Just not powerful enough. But just from the videos I've seen, that looks awesome in games like Tomb Raider and so on. So something to be said for good graphics, you know. But story is more important to me at the end of the day, definitely.
Yeah.
Or gameplay, yeah.
Well, and like you look at a game like Okami. I don't know if any of y'all ever played Okami. Absolutely beautiful. It's like a PlayStation 2 game. You play as like a dog, and it's like cell shaded. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it holds up because, to Jason's point, the art direction is the whole point. It's not this hyper realistic graphics. Back in the day, it was a art direction, and it just looks amazing. Same thing with Journey. It had an art direction. It wasn't going for hyper realism. It was going for you know, a visual thing, and that's the thing that I love about games. Yes, I love a good looking game. I cannot wait for Ghost of Yotai. Like, it looks amazing. Ghost of Tsushima was one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, but it's like, if the story isn't there, you can have the best looking game
that's true
in the world, but it's going to be crap.
Yeah, and it's just like unfortunate that we are in this place where it seems like developers are picking it. You need story, gameplay, and art direction, and it seems like they're having to pick one of the three and leave the other two
Right,
out,
right.
and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a triangle of doom.
Yeah. Do you want it good and fast? Well, you can't have it cheap.
exactly. Exactly. Good, fast, and cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The big daddy of them all would be the announcement at the end, which is the new colors for controllers. I'm just kidding. We did get 3 new controllers.
Shut up.
Announced, but the second Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotai, and man, this thing is beautiful. Oh, this thing is beautiful. We're also getting a new protagonist with this.
Yeah. A female protagonist, correct?
Yes.
Why does it keep doing that? Stop doing that.
Just go full screen. Ibushiki.
And a wolf. We get a wolf this time.
Yeah, a wolf instead of foxes. When they were first talking, I thought the wolf was talking, and I was like, okay, maybe this is a ghost. Maybe this is a ghost, but I was literally freaking out watching it on the couch with Amy. But her sword is super cool too. Like the guard on it is a wolf. So yeah.
So I did not get a chance to watch the State of Play live. I tried to catch a little bit about it afterwards, right before we got on. And am I right that this is an original story, or is this based out of a historical event like Tsushima was?
They haven't said that I know of. All I saw was this trailer. I don't think it's going to be as tied to like an actual thing, but I might be wrong on that.
Okay. All right.
But
this next shot here, when they start running through riding the horse through the this right here, I mean, that looks stunning.
Yeah.
And Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games of the last 5 years, for sure. Zach, like you said earlier, just this, and again, it was a game that had the story, the gameplay, and the graphics. It had all three, and they just came together beautifully. Excellent game. They got to show off that mud and the leaves and how real it all looks. And
Jason's favorite part. Where's the rain?
But see, this one escaped the triangle of doom, though. You could take the rain out and it'd still be a good game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's not like, do you think this is ultra high realistic, or it has its own kind of art style to it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
I think it could stand the test of time because it does have its own.
They soften that hyper realistic thing. It's softened just enough to like stay into the lore more than, oh, look how shiny a sword is. Like, no one cares. Like, as long as it looks good, across the entire universe.
Yeah.
And I love, like, with the first game, you could throw on like the old like samurai movie filters, and you could actually turn on the Japanese voice actors, and the lips actually animated with those lips and everything, so it felt like you were playing an old Japanese samurai film.
Really? So was it like that type of thing? Like, your comp was good. Mine's better.
Thankfully not. Thankfully not. But yeah, like they really like put in a ton of work with like the Isle of Tsushima. So I can only imagine what they're going to do with Yotai, which I've never even heard of, and I never heard of Tsushima before this either. But
sounds awesome, guys. I haven't checked it at all, but it looks awesome.